Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to go over some really great exercises for stuff that will cause imbalances in the lower extremities and in your core. So this is very important because a lot of people do face problems such as lower cross syndrome, where we do have muscle imbalances of the hip flexors being too tight, and then you have your glutes that aren't doing their job at all, and then you have these guys overfiring, which are your paraspinal muscles, and unfortunately you end up with hamstrings that are also tight, you end up with the IT band, which is too tight, and so you end up with a slew of problems, and it's an imbalance because we just do too much of sitting, and that is basically like back smoking. So here are some exercises that you can do with some pretty relatively easy to find objects, such as a foam roller. Okay, you can get this guy pretty much anywhere, including Amazon or any sporting goods store. They have them at most gyms even. If you just look around or ask, they probably do have one at your gym as well. So this guy right here, two main ones I like to do the most because they seem to have the most bang for the buck is the IT band and your piriformis. Now feel free to do your calves as well if you feel that those are tight. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to put on the side here, just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to be doing from knee to hip. You don't roll over the joints. That's just painful, and just don't do it. So you'll lay on your side and you'll actually have your legs straight on the bottom here, okay? I'm going to put this foot up and over so I can push. And I'm going to go and I'm just going to push all the way up to the knee and then back up to the hip. And I'm just going to do that nice and slow and controlled, up to the knee and back to the hip. Now, if this isn't, if you're not feeling too much and it's not hurting, because it usually hurts, okay? If you're not feeling too much and you're feeling like, okay, I want to go total Rambo, you can also do this way as well. But this one would really hurt if it already hurt, okay? And that'll just get a little deeper. This is like a deep tissue massage, so it's very good. It gets in deep, penetrates really deeply, and it's going to turn off the muscle, which is great because you want to turn off the muscles that are pulling while you're doing your exercises. So you do that first, and then you do your exercise. So that's for your IT band. Now, the other muscle that's married to that is the piriformis, and so they will actually rotate the knee out, which is going to cause a whole lot of problems. So this is why you also want to do the piriformis. So on a 45-degree angle, I'm going to sit on the hip. There's a bone right in front that you want right in front of the foam roller. And then you're going to put your knee at a 45, just like this, at a figure 4 right here. You're going to be sitting at a 45 degree, and I'm going to have my right, and right all lined up. So right arm behind me, on my right hip, knee bent on the right, okay? From here, all the control's actually in this knee here, okay? And I'm going to be able to kind of roll back and forth. I put this hand here just for stability, and I kind of roll back and forth nice and easy. Now, if you're not feeling it when you're doing this, feel free to pull this up and you will feel it, okay? And then you roll back and forth just like this. It's about 3 inches worth of roll. And you're gonna go back and forth and you're gonna dig right in there on that piriformis, which should turn that off as well, okay? So those are the two main ones that I would say have the most bang for the buck, especially with lower cross syndrome problems and imbalance in the middle core area. So that would be the two that I would do as far as foam rolling is concerned. Then there's another thing that we'll want you to also try and do, especially if you're having, again, those, it's not your abs that are tight, it's your hip flexors that are tight. And so you'll want to go get either a 55 centimeter ball, or you can buy one, they usually have them at most gyms. Get yourself a nice big ball like this. And this one's a little not inflated super well, but I usually will pin my feet up against the wall. I'm just going to use this table here. And you're going to roll back and over the ball and just open up everything. You want everything just to be opened up. You want your abs to open, you want your shoulders, everything just to open up. And you can hang there for about a good minute or two, and that will just open up everything. That's going to be really good for you. It's going to help this out. You can also do what's called a prone cobra to help you out with these really, really tight hip flexors. And a prone cobra, you just come down, put your arms next to yourself, and you're going to come up. And you're just going to come up like this, and you're just going to hold that position. Kind of feels like yoga, huh? And then you're going to come down. So you can hold that position at least a minute. You want to do at least over 30 seconds in order to get that stretch in. That will deactivate the muscle. So you shoot for a minute, you're probably going to cheat, and you're still going to get it right. Okay? So that's kind of how I would do. Now, there are some other muscles that you want to also kind of, get engaged because you have problems in this midsection, such as you want to do squats. And you can do them with or without weights. It really doesn't matter. You just want high rep, low weight. And so in order to do a good squat, you're going to come here to the side here. You're going to come down and back up, okay? You want your chest up. You do not want your chest down when you're coming down. So you want your butt out. So you're going to push the butt out and you're going to look up and come up. So you want to do 3 sets of 15 is where I try and start off with. And you want to make sure you have good form. So do it in front of a mirror. So if you're going in front of the mirror, you don't want to have your knees come in. You don't want to have your knees go out. Look in the mirror and make sure you got good form when you're doing these, okay? Because if you don't have good form, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you're doing them wrong, you're doing them wrong, and that could also cause other joint problems. So try and do them right. So that's a good one. 3 sets of 15. Do those squats. Then I also like to follow this up with a modified bird dog, where you come down, and then from here you're just going to lift the arm up, and this leg's going to go back. And I tap down with the back leg. I do not lift that back leg up. And then I reach over and I do the opposite side. So it's right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. And you're going to keep doing that. And again, I'll start off with like 3 sets of 15. I try and get up to 3 sets of 45. So I up it about 5 reps about every week or so until I get to 3 sets of 45. Well, usually when you're hitting 3 sets of 45, things are a lot more balanced by then. And that's a good way to kind of look at it. The last thing you can also do is you can also do a plank. Plank's going to engage your abs, but not so much going to cause the hip flexors to go crazy. And so you're going to go right back down, and from here you come up on either this way, you come up at a 90-degree angle with your arms, or you can also kind of offset by coming up with your knees. If you can't keep that position, if you just don't have the upper body strength, some people don't, and that's fine. So you can also do that. You just want to keep your tummy tight. You want to just kind of hold that position, okay? So it's okay to do it either which way. You just want to engage that ab. And you don't want to, you really don't want to engage too much of the hip flexors, which is exactly what a crunch is going to do. So not a big fan of crunches unless you're trying to hit the hip flexors while you're doing the abs. So and most people have too tight of hip flexors just because we sit for hours on end. Whether it be commuting or whether it be your job or a combination of the both. So keep following us. We're going to keep giving you more health tips. Take care, guys.